Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Mm-hmm. And yes, there is coffee in the cup. Wow. I laugh, guys, because sometimes, you see the occasional comment in there where people say, oh, there's no coffee in his cup. Why would he even bother, faking something as simple as that? And it just makes me kind of laugh because, number one, they're either complete idiots or, of course, it's attention getting. But definitely there's coffee in that cup right there. And I'll tell you what, do I ever enjoy sharing it with you. Now, guys, right now we are seeing a lot of volatility in the marketplace. And the FUD, I mean the fear that is being spread in this space is truly wild. But you know what it goes against? It's counter to the absolute fundamentals of what's happening in the wide world right now. And I'm reading a number of articles on Zero Hedge, and one of them is coming out and it's talking about the acceleration of the digital euro. Did you hear that? I mean, guys, if you look at the fundamentals, what's changing in the world? Well, we know that the financial infrastructure for how monetary value is moving is absolutely changing. And you got the European Union. Christine Lagarde basically said, hey, look, they're going to, release their pilot project this month for the Euro CDBC, the digital euro. And of course, their goal is by 2029 having a full release, if not sooner, by 2027. That right there is telling you that, when you're talking about this distributed ledger technology, which is the backbone for this new digital economy, that it is on. Like the game is afoot, guys. And what they do is they just try to manipulate you and I so much with all this information that gets out there. How do you think it starts? Where do you think it goes? You look in the comments and you see all these bots attacking all these XRP channels, mine and Mickle's and different ones like that. And you have to ask yourself, okay, if there was no value in XRP, if there was no value in what we're talking about, well, why would they even bother trying to clutter it all up so, folks can't make their own comments and stuff like that? Why would they do that if there's no value there, right? Of course. It's because there is value and big, big, big. Another big tell, Senator Loomis just came out today, or actually, I think it was just yesterday. But needless to say, in the article that I read that was published today, she's saying, hey, this new Bitcoin reserve for the U.S., it could start at any time. Well, hello, the government themselves are going to start having strategic reserves, of course, for these digital assets because there is value there. That is a big tell. Another major one, Van Eck. Van Eck just recently came out and said, hey, listen, with the way gold is just going bonkers, that they see a $644,000 Bitcoin by 2028. Now, that is not too far down the road, is it? Like, we're talking like we're here almost at 2026, a year and a couple months. The value, guys, that I believe that we are going to see in this distributed ledger technology and XRP is going to fire off into numbers that people cannot really even imagine. Now, of course, the day-to-day fluctuation and this volatility that we're in right now is causing a lot of people's nerves to get totally tested, and I get it. A lot of people are new in the space, and you really can't blame them for that feeling. Maybe they bought in at $3.50, $3.60, and of course, they're not sitting in a situation where their portfolio has appreciated, and it makes them very, very nervous. The whole point of all the fear, the uncertainty, and doubt. What I would say is, when in doubt, zoom out. Look at the broader picture. Look at what really is going on in the wide world. Judy and I, when we entered into this space, it was to secure the purchasing power of our savings, in a situation where there was all this helicopter money going around. And it looked like the inflationary result was just going to decimate everything that we had saved. We went out looking for gold and silver. Nobody had any that they wanted to sell. And of course, we found ourselves falling into this digital asset space. First thing that we ever bought back there, by the way, it was Bitcoin, because at that time, Bitcoin was viewed as a hedge against inflation. And we fell into XRP. But boy, I'll tell you, once we started researching, what a change came over us about what we saw down the road, and our confidence just got higher and higher and higher. And even when the lawsuit was laid down, we did not capitulate our position. And within 13 short months, can you imagine, our entire financial circumstances were changed? Bang. And guys, we could have easily got fudded out, thought we made a mistake, bailed on our positions, all that, took the losses when the losses were there, and we experienced some in the beginning, and that kind of thing. But we didn't. And the reason we didn't is because we could see this is as plain as a nose on our face what they are moving our economies into. You cannot deny that. I'm going to put those three articles, by the way, right in the comments of this video right here, so you can read them for yourself. But the evidence is all around us. And that's where I say, if you've gone out there and you've done your research and you've built that confidence up in here, well, look, all the fear, the uncertainty and doubt and the manipulation isn't going to shake you out, because this is where your confidence is built. Right down, you got it right in your gut. And that's the deal. Knowing the psychology of the market and how they played it. Look, a lot of people got up today and they were discouraged. They looked down there, oh my goodness, XRP is at $2.85 or whatever it was. Well, we're back up to 288 and it's fluctuating in there. I watched Bitcoin drop all the way down to about 121,000, then bang, right back up to 123. And it's going to be like that until we get the certainty out. That when all the certainty comes in and all that uncertainty is removed, what's going to happen, guys? The volatility is going to kind of wear off, isn't it? And all that risk, because it is a risk reward ratio that we're banking on, all that risk is coming down. The reward is not going to be so great for the folks that are getting in further down the line, because all the uncertainty is going to be gone. Look, for those of us that are willing to buy XRP when the lawsuit was at its height, come on, where are we today? Even at 288, guys, we're hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of percent in profit for those of us that were willing to take that risk when the lawsuit was just on like crazy because of that uncertainty. Well, that lawsuit's over, isn't it? And look where we are. You had never seen gains like that in a traditional market. You could wait practically a lifetime to see 300 to 500% gains. And this is the deal. Do you think that what you invested in is just going to go the way of the dodo? It's just going to be passed by. Nobody's going to be using it. Or do you really believe that what's going on over here, the infrastructure that is being laid down for the future of the Internet of Value, that fourth industrial revolution, do you believe that that is what's really going on? And all the rest of it is just noise. What do you believe right there? Well, I'll tell you this, Judy and I, we believe that all the FUD, that's what it is. It is noise. And there has never been in a long time the amount of FUD that's getting thrown XRP's way right now is really amazing. I've been here for a long, long time, guys, years and years and years. And I can tell you the sentiment and the FUD that is being thrown out there right now, it is, as I'm telling you, it's more than what I've seen in a long, long time. That tells me right there that there is something afoot, and a big time flip of the switch could take place. Bang, like that. And a lot of the folks that capitulated their position back there in 2017, within just a few short weeks, boom, it had fired off. That is what happened. But you got to do what you feel confident in right down in here, don't you? Well, I'll tell you what, for Judy and I, not listening to the noise. Not listening to the noise. I am absolutely 100% confident in where we stand right now. I'll tell you that. And like I said, guys, when we really do start to de-risk and take some profit off the table, we're going to let you know. And it may not even mean that we don't see further appreciation. But the truth is, a lot of people will miss out and ride it all the way up and all the way down because they will not actually realize those gains. And that's a big deal. And you've got to build that into your strategic plan. Absolutely, for sure. That is what we talk about. That is what we encourage. It's balancing your goals, to balancing your portfolio towards the achievement of those goals of yours. That's what it all comes down to. That's what investing is about. It's return on your investment. Well, if you never realized it, did you actually see the return, or was it just there on a piece of paper? Did it change your life, or did you actually see that result? That kind of thing. And I throw that out there all the time because a lot of times, hey, it's just something on a piece of paper. If it hasn't changed your life, hey, what difference has it made? That's where we come in, and that's what we talk about. And that's why today I'm meeting up with a bunch of folks to do coaching next week as well. Haven't opened up the following week yet because, guys, we want to make sure that we're right there and have the ability to commit to it. So won't be able to really say that, I don't think, until maybe this Monday. I could give you a gauge on it and stuff like that. Now, I hope to do it. In fact, if the demand is high enough, we may even get some help in doing coaching and stuff like that. Bring some folks on. We don't know. But needless to say, guys, be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Don't let yourself get played by all that's going down. That's what I would say. Get out there and really dig, dig, dig. How about that? So, guys, until later on today when we have another fantastic video for you, have a fabulous one and take care.